Welcome, brothers and sisters of the world. I'm Brother RJ and I have Sister M beside me here.
Hello, brothers and sisters.
This, brothers and sisters, is the part 2 of the video series that we're embarking on, and this series is called There Are Only Two Seeds in This World: the woman's seed and the devil's seed. And there are two ways that we can go. So we left off the last video talking about the woman's seed. And before we go there, just to clarify, as I did in the last video, that we're looking at the woman's seed to begin with, and then, brothers and sisters, we're going to look at the devil's seed, and that includes some of the devil's associates, i.e. Belial, the fallen angel who has been the main controller of everything on this earth. And we are going to show without a shadow of a doubt exactly what this character, who is a fallen angel, has been up to. And we are going to show, brothers and sisters, that we have to make a decision. There are two ways that we can go in this world. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to carry on, as I say, where we left off, and we're talking about the woman's seed, and we're going to start with Genesis chapter 13 verse 1.
And Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abraham called on the name of the Most High.
So what we're actually seeing here, brothers and sisters, is we are talking about Abraham. Abram here at the moment, but later on we find out his name was going to be called Abraham. So, and there's a good reason why we're looking at Abraham, because as we'll see as we go along, there are nations that are going to come from Abraham's loins. Carry on, please.
And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. And Abraham said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right, or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left.
Okay, so we see, brothers and sisters, you know, Abraham and his brother Lot, they didn't want to have any arguments with each other. They just wanted to get things sorted out amicably between themselves. And as we can see here, one went to the right hand and the other was going to go to the left hand. So they had agreed between themselves that that was to be so. Okay, carry on.
And Lot lifted up his eyes, and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Most High destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Most High, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent towards Sodom.
Okay, so we see here, brothers and sisters, that they've arranged between themselves that they should go and live in different areas. And as we see here, Abraham went to dwell in the land of Canaan. Lot decided to go in the kind of opposite direction and go towards Sodom. Yeah. Okay, carry on.
But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Most High exceedingly. And the Most High said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art, northward and southward, and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed for ever.
Okay, so we see here that Abraham was a very, very prominent player in biblical times. He was a man that had great faith in the Father, great faith in the Word, and we see here that Abraham has been told, all this land that you seest will be given to you and your seed forever. Carry on.
And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered.
Can we number the dust of the earth, brothers and sisters? No. That's how big a number that we're talking about here. That from Abraham's seed was going to produce a massive, massive number of people on this earth from his loins. Because the nations that were going to be produced from his loins are going to produce a massive, massive number of people. Okay, carry on.
Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent, and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Most High.
Okay, so we see here, brothers and sisters, that Abraham dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which was in Hebron, and he built an altar for the Word, so, but for the Father. Yeah. So we see that, as I was saying, Abraham was a very, very prominent one. He was a very, very prominent one, um, in biblical times. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Abraham and Hagar, the Egyptian handmaid of Abraham's wife, and we're going to see in this section that she gave him a child. Okay, so we're going to Genesis chapter 16, reading from verse 1, please.
Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar.
So we see here right away that Abraham's wife was barren. She could not give Abraham a child. Carry on.
And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold now, the Most High hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai.
So we see here that, Sarah couldn't have children, so in order for the lineage to continue, Sarah is saying to Abraham, well, go in unto my maid and you'll obtain children by her. Carry on.
And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
Yes. So we see that Abraham was given Hagar by Sarah, and she became his wife. And you can see here that she did conceive, and her mistress, Sarah, was not very happy, as you can see here, and was effectively drawing her the daggers here. Yep. Okay, carry on.
And Sarai said unto Abraham, My wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid unto thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Most High judge between me and thee. But Abraham said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thine hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Most High found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur.
Now, brothers and sisters, we see here that, Sarah was very, very unhappy with Hagar, and Sarah dealt very hardly with her, and she decided to flee. from her. Yeah, okay, carry on.
And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou, and whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai.
So we see in verse 7 here, the angel of the Most High found her by a fountain of water, and he asked her, Whence comest thou? And of course, Hagar replied that she had fled from her mistress Sarah. Carry on.
And the angel of the Most High said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands.
So, the angel is saying, yeah, well, just return to your mistress, you know, and just carry on as normal, just submit yourself to her, and just carry on, you know, doing what you were doing before. Okay, carry on.
And the angel of the Most High said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude.
Brothers and sisters, and the angel of the Most High said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the word said unto her, I will multiply thy seed. That's a very interesting scripture, brothers and sisters, isn't it? The angel said, wonder who this angel could be, brothers and sisters. And maybe, just maybe, we will find out at a later date as we go through the videos that we're doing, that we might find out maybe who this angel actually was, because we do know, brothers and sisters, that, and I'm just putting it out there to you, that there are two seeds in this earth. There's the woman's seed and there's Satan's seed. Satan's seed, or should I say the devil's seed, and the woman's seed. And we know that the angels have come in unto the women of the Most High. They've come into the women of men. They've come into the woman's seed. So Satan's seed has come into the woman's seed. And as we know and as we have shown, created a hybrid race. So I'm putting it out there to you, brothers and sisters, that, you know, there's been two lots of breeding that has gone on in this world. Breeding of the woman's seed and breeding of the devil's seed. Okay, carry on.
And the angel of the Most High said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Most High hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of the Most High that spake unto her, Thou, thou Most High, seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Beerla Heroi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abraham's son, a son, and Abraham called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abraham was 86 old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abraham.
Okay, brothers and sisters, so Abraham bare a son to Hagar, and his son was called Ishmael. So we do believe that the lineage, and we'll probably find out a bit later on, well, we definitely will find out a bit later on, that Hagar was an Egyptian, and if you look at the makeup of the world today, you know, the Ishmaelites, or the ones that kind of came off Ishmael, were going to be an extremely great nation in a way, in their own right. Okay, and I'll not say any more at the moment. We'll let the scriptures do the talking. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Genesis chapter 17, and it's verse 15 to 21, please.
And the Most High said unto Abram, As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be.
Okay, so we see here that Sarah was going to be called not Sarah anymore, but Sarah. And what we're going to see here is Sarah was actually going to have a son in old age. So through this section we'll be seeing Sarah going to have a son in old age, and we're also going to be seeing, as I said at the end of the last chapter, that Ishmael was going to be a great nation. Okay, so carry on, please.
And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto the Most High, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
So we're seeing here that, Sarah was like, yeah, well, I'm going to bear, Abraham was going to bear a child, was going to have a child when he was 100 years old, and Sarah was going to bring a child into the world in childbirth when she was 90 years old. So, you can see that they were thinking that this was kind of a bit far-fetched, to say the least. But we know that what the word of the Most High was telling them was absolutely true. Yeah, carry on.
And the Most High said, Sarah, thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
So we see here in these two scriptures that Sarah was going to bear a child, a son, and his name was going to be called Isaac. And we're told here that through Isaac there will be a covenant, and an everlasting covenant. And that covenant would continue with his seed after him. So these ones of the Old Testament, these prominent ones of the Old Testament we're looking at here are ones where great, massive nations were actually coming off their loins. Okay, carry on.
But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time, in the next year.
Okay, so we see here that Sarah and Abraham were going to had a child. They had Isaac, and Ishmael was going to be a great nation. A great nation was going to arise out of Ishmael's loins. And it gives us an idea of, what was going to come out of Ishmael's loins. 12 princes shall be begat. And it will be, as it says here, a great nation. So, the period of the world where, these the people of the world that were going to come off Ishmael's loins are what we would term as from the Middle Eastern countries. So there was going to be great wealth. These countries are exceedingly fruitful, and they are exceedingly wealthy countries, as we know today, the Middle Eastern countries, because of the great richness in oil that's to be had out of these countries. So yeah, so it's safe to say that the ones even living there today would be of this lineage, as we can see with in these countries that are ruled by princes, princes that have principalities. So yeah, that's what we're seeing here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to see Isaac is going to be offered as a sacrifice. If you could go to chapter 22, verse 1 to 18, please.
Genesis chapter 22, verses 1 to 18. And it came to pass after these things that the Most High did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of.
Now, brothers and sisters, this is very deep, because Abraham, son Isaac, which you would have loved tremendously, he was told he had to be put up for a burnt offering on a mountaintop. So the word was telling him, yeah, you need to do this. Now, Abraham did not question it, brothers and sisters. He understood the instruction that was given to him by the Most High Power. It was, and because Abraham had such faith in the Most High and our Saviour, he was prepared to sacrifice his son. And you know, brothers and sisters, he didn't even think twice. He didn't even think twice. And, you know, we have shown that even today, brothers and sisters, you know, we have shown through our other videos that, you know, faith and sacrifice do go hand in hand. Because going back in biblical times, ones that brought the Word, that's the understanding of the Father, the understanding of the Father that was brought through our Saviour Christ. We know that these people, these disciples, these, you know, likes of Paul, for example, they had a very hard time of it, because they were bringing the secret thoughts of the Father that was given to his Son, the Father's Son, to give to us. And, you know, as we have shown already, that bringing testimony of Christ, the understanding of the Father through the Son that he sent, that's our Saviour, that these people loved not their lives unto death, because they only wanted to serve the Father. And that's, brothers and sisters, through all generations. That's exactly the way it should be through all generations. And that includes today, brothers and sisters. So, as it was back then, as it is today, Abraham, as you can see here, had so much faith that he was willing to give up his own son. But you know, when you really think about it, brothers and sisters, that son was given to him by the Father. By the Father, brothers and sisters. So, you know, Abraham knew he wasn't above the Father, so at the end of the day, he had to do exactly as the Father instructed him. And if that meant sacrificing his own son, then so be it. So be it. Okay, carry on.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went unto the place of which the Most High had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, the Most High will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together, and they came to the place which the Most High had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Most High called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest the Most High, seeing that thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me.
Okay, so, brothers and sisters, what are we actually seeing here? We're seeing that Abraham was quite prepared to go all the way and sacrifice his son. Sacrifice his son. He wasn't going to withhold his son. He was going to sacrifice him. He was going to kill him. Brothers and sisters. So, the Most High was showing us something very, very important here. and that's faith and sacrifice. They do come hand in hand, brothers and sisters, as we have seen what happened to the prophets, the disciples, Paul. They sacrificed themselves to do the work of our Father and give the word, give the understanding of the word, which is of course understanding our Father. Because as we know, brothers and sisters, if you don't understand the Son, then you don't have our Father. So, in this day and age, we need to have that understanding of Christ. Because I say to you, brothers and sisters, without it, you have nothing. You have absolutely nothing. And you're not going to make it to the kingdom unless you have Christ, the understanding of Christ. So, this is very important moving forward, brothers and sisters, because what I'm bringing out is that we should have carried on doing the work of Christ, which has not been done on this earth for a very, very long time. And we all have to have works in Christ. So, Abraham was a just man. He was a just man that had ultimate faith in the Father. He wasn't away sinning left, right and centre, brothers and sisters. He wanted to do for the Father. And that, brothers and sisters, is what we should be doing today. Okay, carry on.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, behind him a ram, caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son.
Okay, so we see here that the Father didn't want him to use his son as a burnt offering. So we see here that a ram was used instead of his son. Carry on.
And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Most High it shall be seen. And the angel of the Most High called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Most High, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies.
Okay, so brothers and sisters, let's really have a look at what's actually being said here. Because Abraham wasn't going to withhold his son and was going to have his son sacrificed, our Father is saying that he will bless him and he will multiply his seed as the stars of the heaven. I will multiply thy seed as, brothers and sisters, the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and the seed shall possess the gate of thy enemies. So, that's a very, very interesting verse, because, he's going to multiply. The seed is going to be vast in numbers. Brothers and sisters, vast as in numbers as the stars of the heaven, as the angels of the heaven. So, what we do know, brothers and sisters, is that, and we have already seen it in the previous teachings, that, these servants, these righteous, these elect, these bringing people to righteousness, will be the stars of the heaven for ever and ever. Interesting, brothers and sisters, isn't it? We have already seen that in the scriptures, and it just so happens that, in describing the vast number of people that are going to come from this seed, they will be as the stars of the heaven. And of course the other part of that is, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. So, vast numbers of people. Carry on.
And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Brothers and sisters, and in thy seed, shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham alone, because he did what he did, all the nations, not one or two, not some of them, but all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. So, what Abraham did, brothers and sisters, was very, very, very big. Because he effectively has helped all nations to be blessed. And that was in all generations, all the generations to come. So what Abraham did was absolutely beautiful for all of us of today. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to have a look at there will be two nations, two massive nations that are going to come from Isaac and Rebekah. Yep. So Genesis chapter 25 verse 21 to 27, please.
And Isaac entreated the Most High for his wife, because she was barren. And the Most High was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Most High.
Okay, so what we're actually seeing here, brothers and sisters, Isaac's wife Rebekah was barren, but the word is telling her here that she was going to conceive. And, you know, the children were struggling together within her. And, you know, she wanted to know, why is that word? So, let's hear what the word said to her. Verse 23.
And the Most High said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Okay, so we see here, brothers and sisters, 2 nations will come from the womb, of Rebekah. 2 nations, brothers and sisters. Yep. And the one people shall be stronger than the other. The elder shall serve the younger. Carry on.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Okay, so what are we seeing here, brothers and sisters? Well, I'm going to tell everybody of the world that there is 2 nations, 2 massive nations that were going to come from this pregnancy. And we see here that one came out red all over, like a hairy garment, and he called his name Esau. Brothers and sisters, this is what we would term today as the white nation, but I don't like to consider us as white. We are not white. We are ruddy reds. We are ruddy red. We are not white, brothers and sisters. White. We're not like white as a sheet that you put in your bed. We are not that colour. We are ruddy red. So, this, brothers and sisters, was where the ruddy red nation, or what people like to call as the white man, but we are not white. We are not white. We are ruddy red. So, Jacob came out, and we know that if you go back into the, when, Noah had his children, we all come from one of the three children of Noah. We all come from either Ham, Shem, or Japheth. Now, what lineage did Abraham come from? Shem. Shem, brothers and sisters. Abraham came from the lineage of Shem. So, we know that, those children were different shades of brown. So, you can ascertain from that Jacob was a shade of brown, because it doesn't mention here about Jacob being brown or a different shade of brown, because there was no need. There was no need, brothers and sisters, because everyone that had come before was different shades of brown. So, what we're seeing here is that from Isaac and Rebekah, they have produced two big, massive, great nations on this earth. The ruddy reds and also, as we're going to see a bit later on, that from Jacob we're going to have the nation of Israel. And we will show that very shortly, that you have the ruddy red nation, which is massive all around the world, and you have Israel. And brothers and sisters, the ruddy reds and Israel are related to each other, because they came out of Rebecca. Both came out of Rebecca. So, I put it to you, brothers and sisters, even before we go any further here, we are kin. We are kin. The Ruddy Reds and Israel. We are kin. We all. And actually, brothers and sisters, when you really think about it, in the large scheme of things, we are all the woman's seed. We are all the woman's seed. So, we're all kin together, brothers and sisters. So, what we should be doing is, we should all be together as one in Christ. Every single one of the woman's seed, we should be together in Christ. Because the seed that is really controlling us in this earth is the devil's seed. They are the ones that control everything in this world, brothers and sisters. And we have to waken up. You have to waken up to that fact. The woman's seed, we should be all in it together. In Christ. All together. Because the devil's seed has been ruling in this world for a very, very, very long time. And it's about time, brothers and sisters, that we all came together, the women's seed, to be in Christ and put an end to this. Put an end to what they've been doing for the past goodness knows how long. You know? So, this is what we all need to be doing, brothers and sisters. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Genesis chapter 26 and it's verse 1 to 5, please.
And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Most High appeared unto him, and said, Go not down unto Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and I will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father.
Okay, so we're seeing here that the promise, the covenant was carried on from, Abraham, down to Isaac, and it was going to carry on from Isaac and go down to Jacob. So this is what we're seeing is happening here. So as the line carried on down from Abraham, from to Isaac to Jacob, you know, the blessing of the Most High is still there, and even calls it, you know, performing the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. So, you know, this is what we're actually seeing happening here. Okay, carry on.
And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
Yes, and there we see again, brothers and sisters, I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven. As the stars of heaven. I will make thy seed to multiply as the angels of heaven, and will give unto thee seed all these countries. So there's vast amount of land and countries that were going to be given, and again we see here that in thy seed all nations of the earth will be blessed, as we have already seen, as Abraham was told, so was Isaac. Carry on.
Because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
There you go. Brothers and sisters of the world, this is what it is to be righteous. This is what it is to be on the right track, being for the Father, being for our Saviour, doing the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. Brothers and sisters. So, what we're going to do, brothers and sisters, is we're going to stop there. That's going to be the end of part 2. So, brothers and sisters, we will come back in due course, and we will carry on with part 3. So, what we want to do, brothers and sisters, is to thank all the brothers and sisters throughout the world for tuning in to part 2. If anyone wants to get in touch, they can get in touch by phone number My phone number is Scotland, and it's 07513 774 796. Or you can join our Facebook group, Come Find Out the True Understanding, or you can send us an email. The address is understandingofchrist@gmail.com. And just to finish off with, brothers and sisters, that, everybody needs to be baptized into Christ, the understanding of Christ, for remission of sins also. And if anyone wants to be baptized, I will do. So that's us for the moment, brothers and sisters. So all that remains for me to do is to say bye for now, brothers and sisters.
Bye for now, brothers and sisters.